Welcome to today's collective reading. This is TrinityGaiaOracle. I'm going to open today's reading with some sound resonance, beginning with C to create G to really elevate that energy to source divine level, and then C yet again to create that space to just really envelope it, like sandwich it. Bread, meat, bread. So if you're sensitive to sound, please do feel free to just skip ahead about 10 seconds and I'll begin the reading. Okay. Okay. The download that I have to share with you guys about this soulmate romantic connection, there's definitely mirroring going on. Source is helping you both to find your way, aiding you to understand one another, bringing you closer and closer as you can, as you're ready. So the more that you heal, the more that they heal, and the more that you begin to be allowed to interact with one another because you're ready for that. You're trusting, you're able to feel safe, you're able to hear them, perceive their communication clearly. Now, as you could tell from the title, this is just really getting into a niche. This may be a theme that many have been experiencing, but it's possible there's not a whole lot of content, a lot of people that are giving voice to it. But it came through. So here we are. So there is a movie, and I don't know the name of it, but the same actress who played, I think it's Ursula in the Little Mermaid, like she's the villain, the female octopus lady. She's the same actress. Well, comedian. She's funny. But she's the same actress, and she basically is an identity thief. So she has like the little clip, the trailer is just filled with like images of her house just jam-packed with stuff from like shopping on TV, just like as seen on TV. Just all of this stuff just jam-packed in her home, and she's so addicted to spending money, spending other people's money. And this individual walks into her life and meets her and falls in love. That's pretty much what I got in the trailer. I haven't watched the whole movie. No idea what like the nitty gritty of it is. Just had the overview, and the concept is there. So in the spiritual essence of things, you have an individual who, at a young age, whether I get the feeling it's like family, cult, handed down, like they have targeted your family and individuals in your family and their family have been vampired with your family line, with your bloodline. But you're the curse breaker. So this individual that fell in love with this identity thief is your counterpart. Is this other person. And the whole reason on a soul level they're there is because they recognized your soul. They recognized your light. They recognized themselves. Soul level, they knew you were being preyed on. They knew that you were being victimized. And this whole process, because in order for them to help you, they had to get like waist deep in this, right? Ugh. Possibly to some extent, even more so than you, in order to, for you both. They had to compromise themselves. However, they were always walking with source, with divine. If you look at that yin yang aspect, the side that resonates, whether male or female, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The side that is very aware of the darkness, of the evil, of the imbalance, of the cruelty, of the pain, experienced it in this life, is the darker aspect of the yin yang. But that darkness is so protective of that light, and that light is what they recognized themselves in when they encountered this identity thief. They recognized your light. You are the side that knows of these things, that has processed as much as you can for them, because you have a very dark aspect within you. You just choose not to give to it. You make the space for the light. And you don't extinguish that dark, because you know without that contrast, you wouldn't value the light as much as you do. You know how bad it can be. You know what the depth of pain is for many individuals. Like you're someone who sees suffering, who sees pain. You maybe even feel it in your own form, depending on your own clair. However that may be for you in particular. You see the suffering in the world, but you choose to give to light. You choose to give to hope. You choose to give to faith. You choose to give to the possibility of a future that's better than right now, this moment. So you make little routines. And when you do that, you are basically helping this other side by keeping that part of you vibrant, because they feel that. When you're under a lot of oppression and attack, they feel that, because your light is beginning to be stressed. Because it's not their darkness that's coming at you. It's darkness from outside of the two of you. So it's been a very fine dance, and they have not been alone in this. Now, typically, one side will become aware of what's going on first. But this is a chicken and egg thing, because this kind of a connection, I'm very clearly getting a concept of time as an illusion. You could be having a thought, a feeling, an emotion right now, and actually be interacting with them 20 years in the future. Because in that perfect moment, they were able to be exactly what you needed in that moment, because they understood completely what you needed. And it kept you going forward. However, that doesn't mean the current them is unaware of that connection, is unaware that that is them too, that they've done that. It's a really trippy experience to begin to feel that this is reality. It is. It's a mind screw. It is. But this is what happens when you have this kind of a connection. And it's more and more common nowadays than we maybe realize. So no, you're not alone in this. This reading is here because there are many people that are calling out for this, that are needing this. Their guardians, their guides, their light workers, their light beings are like, hey, they need to hear these words. And there's a lot of you. And even if it only helps one, it is worth it, because there is a ripple effect out from each of us. Don't underestimate the power of the two of you as one, with divine, working towards a better future, a better moment, in the next moment, in the next moment. So, you both have been working as a team to solve this riddle, to break through the barriers that have been placed, the efforts that they have gone to keep you two from being able to break through the illusions. It's not just one person, it's many. And they're realizing that even though they follow a being that they think is more powerful or the only power that is, the truth is the creator trumps everything. Everything. None of this would exist if the divine did not dream it into being. And if that force is focused here, that vast awareness of all that is focused here, they don't stand they don't stand a chance. And they're feeling it. They didn't know that this existed. They didn't believe it. They believed that they were the end all be all. Look, I acknowledge that I have a divine spark in you. I acknowledge that you have a divine spark in you. And that doesn't mean I think I am the creator. Oh boy, no. No, I do not want that. I don't know about you guys, but that's a lot. That's a lot. So I'm grateful that the divine is here in this reading and present and working through us to help one another anchor in the purpose for why we're here, which is change is inevitable. It's inevitable. It is pointless to resist it. It will happen whether you want it to or not. It is the very consistency of what life is everything is in a constant state of change. And yet our instinct is we like routine. We like things predictable. We like things the same. I'm going to tell you what, you get bored after a while and you want to shake things up. Well, guess who heard you? Yeah, the divine. Oh, you're ready. Well, here it comes. Here's this new roller coaster ride. I just finished perfecting it. It's like a marble cake with all the swirls in it, right? Like all that up and down, left, right. The contrast between the vanilla cake and the chocolate cake. Laughter breaks up the heaviness of it. Do not think for one moment that I'm not aware of the pain, that I'm not honoring that. What I am doing is saying, hey guys, you figured it out. You both understand that there's a being that is beyond the power that these beings think that they are more powerful than. And well, this has become a thing where this creator, this divine, this source, this love feels all of our pain, knows all of it, knows all of our joy, our hopes, our desires, and they also, this consciousness knows the other side. And was giving this other side every opportunity to have a come to Jesus moment, if you will. And some of them did. And that's awesome, but not all of them did. That's how much love that this being has for all of itself. That it doesn't want to leave any part of itself out. This, in this moment, may not have happened in your physical. It may start to seem like it's going to. You may get synchronicities here and there. What do you give your power to? That's where do you give your focus? Where do you give your time? Where do you give your energy? Are you running, denying it? Because what you resist persists. In fact, it gets even more powerful in its demand for you to pay attention. That's why when this energy tries to speak its truth over your power to create, you can be like, oh, okay, but nope, not creating that. You may want that. I don't want that. And that's the end of it. You don't get to continue this anymore. It's done. I've addressed it. Now you zip it, right? Like it's over. You know, you don't get to continue like this on repeat. Like you don't have my power to harm me with anymore. You don't have my power to exercise a suffering in like I'm hearing like torture experience being inflicted on you guys. I'm so sorry that this is something you guys have gone through. I'm so sorry that this has been your living, waking, dreaming reality. And I hope that you find some solace, some comfort in knowing that you're not the only one who's been going through it. That you've been being helped the whole way, and every time you solved something and you had a breakthrough, that others were able to understand and follow you, even if you never know them. You know them on a soul level, that you helped ease that very suffering in others. This has already happened. You guys are already together. You're just like it's already happened. Even if in this moment, because like we're talking like timeline and time travel, like this is already, they've already lost. And they don't get to take anything. If you don't want them to be able to take anything, well then they don't. They don't. If that is their karma, if that is their judgment, because maybe they were part of the group that just couldn't stop. And then it's about the divine in them. It's not about you and what you want for them. It's the divine going, this is their judgment. You don't have to write them in if you don't want to. Period. That statement is huge. Like your soul may be ascending. Like if you see yourselves as two halves of one whole, your soul may be removing a parasitic challenge that many of souls like you don't necessarily get to overcome and remove. So your soul is ascending. Your soul is freeing itself from that. The two of you together, even if you really didn't talk to one another, if you didn't write one another, if you didn't have a whole lot of like evidentiary communication, you were working together in a way that they couldn't trace. In a way that they couldn't measure, that they couldn't point to, in a code that they didn't understand. You could say purple and like your person would be like, oh, yellow? Cool. And they're over there like, what? What just happened between you two? Because that, what? But yeah, like you guys, you're an inspiration. You know who you are, you know your truth, and you know when something simply just isn't your truth. When they thought that it was time to go in for the, like the final blow, boy, were they corrected. Oh boy. What I'm getting is like somebody had this thought and they knew it wasn't theirs. And this thought would be, like say, you know that you're not wanting to opt out. You know that. You know that's not the future you want. Every fiber of your being, you know that. And yet you have a thought that crosses your mind and you just call it out. And now it's like you don't even have to do that with that much energy, that much power. Like you don't have to be that individual who is lifting the car off of their infant and their whole body is doing the impossible. You don't have to do that. Why am I hearing Goku? That might be the name, Goku. It's anime character, and he was doing a tournament, and he fought every opponent, and he's in this final battle, and he starts taking his gear off. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And so he goes over to pick up and move his boot. And they're like, "Oh my god, you were fighting like that with this on your foot? Holy, it's like taking all of my body to move just your boot." You know? Like you're not holding on to that anymore. You've dropped the weight and now they have no idea. The can of I'm hearing the can of whoop ass coming at them. Like they have no idea how strong you are, how adept you are. And you know that you're not that by yourself. You know that you were aided in that you're still being aided in that. It's not a arrogance, it's a humbleness because it is heavy as the head that wears the crown. There's a responsibility to greatness. There's a responsibility to strength. There's a responsibility to knowing. And however you are called to create your ripples, know that ripple is needed, necessary, it's powerful, and only you can contribute that. With the two of you coming together, it's not just this world you're changing when you do that. If you live life from a quantum perspective, which you do, if this is the path you walk, you're affecting many worlds. You're not even just like looking at planet Earth. You're looking at other planetary systems with other sentient, intelligent life that maybe have been able to sustain themselves for so long that they're able to actually interact with us and support us in this process. I've heard it said that planet Earth is very similar to like reality TV. It's like everybody's like entertainment junk food. They're like, what are they doing down there now? You know, crazy kids. That kind of a feel to it. But they see the potential. They see the potential. And know that you're on a cutting edge. You're pushing the evolution of the human race forward because you're daring to be different. You are owning your weirdness and you are, you guys, there's just so much good stuff that's going to come from this, even if you don't see it right now. This is the time where you get to focus on that and know that you have somebody in your world who cares about you with all of their being. And your chaos, they choose. They want your chaos. And you want their chaos. Life is chaos. But you're choosing one another. You don't need one another to be independent. But life without one another, would be less than for it. When they recognized you in this identity thief's energy, when they recognized your energy and the mask that this thing was wearing, the first time that you encountered their energy, it was through a mask as well. Everything that was needed to protect that light that was yours within them. You were able to detect their truth in that. The moment that the two of you connected in a way where your souls were like, oh, hey, there you are. It was over. Everything was already planned. Everything was already laid out. And it's not diminishing the suffering or anything like that. Oh my gosh. And the unfolding of it. A lot of it was a dance that's just beyond like the physical interaction that the typical person seems to have. And by that, I'm speaking to people that I know in my life that I've loved. And it's not saying I know what their love is, but I'm on the outside looking in going, well, this is something that everybody did at this age, so you did this at this age. And well, this was expected of you, so you did it because it was expected of you. And now you're in it. You're in it. And maybe you've gotten yourself out of it. You know, like you're just looking at things on the outside. Like people are just following the script. And it doesn't change that there's love in them and that they have the potential at any moment to go, hey, I see the smoke in this room. Why are you guys all ignoring the fact that there's smoke filling this room? Something stinks in Denmark, kind of a deal, right? Like something's off here. At any moment, any of them have the ability to choose to awaken to their power and own that weirdness. The moment that the two of you connected, everything was already in place. And it's so that you can live that happiest experience, that richness that your soul has been longing for. Now, not everyone is going to choose this in their life. Not everyone will. But this particular reading is for those that are in a connection that is choosing to be in one another's lives in this lifetime. There's definitely a feeling of old souls, of past lives. It's not necessarily going to be something that you would, label twin flame, but we are all a mixture of light and dark, masculine, feminine, assertive, receptive energy. There are many soulmates out there for us. Should we choose to be open to them? Should our soul decide to be open to that? This particular kind of connection that I'm speaking to right now, you guys made that commitment the moment you recognized one another. And you did not hesitate, you did not sway. The only way that this thing could possibly convince you that you swayed, and do hear that in my voice. Like, okay, well, if I must, let me show you the logic way out of that trap. Because it is a trap. Someone who loves you with all of them would never ask you to love them more than you love them, more than you love yourself. They would want you to love yourself completely so that when you are sharing yourself with them, you are fully present with them. That you're not saying what they want you to say. That you're not concerned about what you look like or what you say or what your opinions are, who you associate with, or what car you drive. You're not so self-conscious about what they approve of and don't. They want you to be you. Because the only way they can really know themselves is if you are fully yourself. Unabashedly, unashamedly. They can only know these parts of themselves because you inspire them. No one else can inspire this. Only you. They can only know these parts of themselves with you. And vice versa. It's a pretty scary thing the first time you wake to it on a conscious level. Like, oh my gosh, that's what this is? I thought this stuff was just in movies and fairy tales. No, it's real, and it's not as smooth as they portray it either. I think that the Princess Bride had it pretty well to some extent, and do know that there was no separation between them, meaning that she would be saying as you wish, just as much as he was. It was the masculine and the feminine energy that's present within both of them co-creating. We see it and we go, oh, that's the man, that's the woman, he always is saying as you wish. No. That is the voice of masculine energy. It's not the voice of just the male in the dynamic. She has masculine energy too. And that part of her wants it to be as he wishes too. Because they recognize they're one. They want it as they wish it to be. So you stop seeing them as separate. They're one being. As you wish. You're saying to yourself, I want this with all of my being. And that means this illusion of separation is bull. They want this too. It's part of why you want it, because they want it. Chicken and egg. All right, is there anything else that Source would like to come through at this time? I'm going to take just a moment here to really go within and see if there's any specific thing before I bring this reading to a close that they would like to bring forward. And they is like all of the beings around all of you. All the energies, the forces, the ancestors, however you choose to label those beings that have been very supportive to both of you on this path, however you choose to relate to this being. Keep hearing on repeat. And you may need to repeat this to yourself. Maybe this could really help you in moments that are especially troubling or scary or overwhelming, where maybe the projections are pretty real. Reach for love. You are love. Reach for what feels good. And I don't necessarily mean like, your vice. I mean genuinely with all of you that makes you feel so present in the moment, so excited to be alive, and so hopeful about the future that you're creating, that you're living. Reach for what feels good, that feels like love, like that. You are love. To repeat that, you are love. Give that love to yourself. Have that space to do those things that make you feel that way as often as possible, because you are love. I'm seeing like a white misty smoke. And it kind of, like literally in my space, there's nothing there would be coming from. And that reminds me of the smoke, like when they choose a pope, and it's white smoke for yay, we've chosen someone, and black smoke for we don't know yet. They don't know the truth yet. They haven't found the way. There's truth in this. It's an affirmation. And that could be a synchronicity for quite a few of you. It's truth. Also, the burning bush, transformation, alchemy, phoenix, the speaking bush on fire. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the story perfectly. Right? No, I'm not getting the exact name. The burning bush in the desert that was speaking to someone in the Bible. It was talking about the voice of transformation, of alchemy, of shadow work, of choosing love. You are love. Let go of what is not you, that is not love. Speak to it. Tell it that it does not get to have a voice. You heard what it wanted you to hear and you chose not to create it. Alchemize that. Let it not be what you create. Let it not have your focus because it's not of love and you are love. It can't create what it doesn't have. And, to have like a little bit of levity here in this moment, what did it think it was going to do? It can't be you. And I say it because, yet again, male, female, male energy projecting being female, vice versa. Like, it's so confusing. Like, that's why I'm just like, I don't know. It's an energy. And then it just gets cut down to it. It's an energy. It's a consciousness, and it gets cut down to it. But what did it think it was going to do? Taking your energy, your life force, like whatever, like it could never be you. It has no idea the relationship, the connection that you have to source. If you are love in this sense, it has no concept. It could never be you. If it wants to have that kind of a relationship with source, and that's kind of what it's basically saying here to source, then I would say that source very well may go, all right, well, here's the first lesson. Here's the first path. You've encountered a real one. Now you know what it looks like, walks like, talks like, acts like. And you tried with everything in you and you still came across as a false light. Now you understand that you have to actually do the work to be able to be that you desire. So the challenge is ahead for this soul, for this person, for this being. Let's just say it's not an easy path to get to this point. And there's a reason why it wanted to cheat. Because it didn't want to do the work, because it knew the work was very unpleasant. Now it's going to have that opportunity. And I don't know. There's some rough days ahead. We'll just say that. Maybe some rough lifetimes ahead. But hey, maybe you inspired your enemy to actually do the work. In maybe not this lifetime, maybe the next. Maybe this was just the first lesson of really being shown that they're not more powerful than the Creator. So on that note of you are love. And you're humble in that. You're humble in it. I can't imagine going through life without knowing that truth that we don't necessarily always have words for. But like when you're a kid, you don't think of it that way. You don't have the words, the language, any of that. You just are. Thank you very much for co-creating this reading with me. Thank you for praying, for calling out to Source for answer, and thank you very much for being here in this reading with me and knowing that by being present here and, liking, subscribing, commenting. You're adding your ripple. It's not insignificant. You're more powerful than you realize you are. And this reading is what it is because it was what you needed to be. If there were synchronicities in this, great. If some of it didn't resonate, that's because it's more of a synchronicity for someone else, and it allows you to have insight and empathy and compassion for them. You are wise. Thank you very much to whoever just sent that energy. You're wise. Thank you. Thank you for co-creating this with me. The divine, the love within me honors, sees the divine, the love within you. Namaste.